my gems. How you doing? Excuse me. So, I wanted to get back into the story. So, starting with the pregnant virgin, me and my friends were in front of the house jumping double dutch, having a good time. Regular nice summer day. And this dude that grew up on the next block came around. And he's like, man, I just got back from basic training and woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? And why don't y'all, stop by and come see me before I go back to my duty station? And my super nice self, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop by. And his name was Sam. I'm gonna stop by Sam's house, see how he doing. So I go over there, and I ring the doorbell. He comes to the door, and I go in. His mom is sitting in there at the kitchen table reading the newspaper. And she's like, hey, how you doing? Woo woo, how you been? I'm like, I'm cool. Anyway, so he says, let's go downstairs. And so we go downstairs in the basement, and it's right there by the kitchen door. Right, the basement door is right in the kitchen to go downstairs. So we go down into the basement, and we're just sitting there talking. He's telling me about how they used to have to wake up really early to do basic training. They had to do so many push-ups, how they had to eat real fast, stuff like that. Stuff that I basically kind of wasn't interested in. And the TV is going, and we just sitting there, and next thing you know, he takes both his fingers and does this. And I just sat there and I let him do it because I didn't know what he was doing. But he pushes my temples real hard at the same time, and I faint. Maybe that's something he learned in the military or something. I don't know, because I'm just like, what is this stuff? So when I come back to, he's trying his best. I had on some stirrup stretch pants and a turtleneck and a sweater and some riding boots. That's what was in back then. But he is trying his best to pull my pants off and penetrate me. But I'm a virgin, and I haven't ever had sex before, but I know what he's doing. He's trying to rape me. And this fool tried to knock me out and rape me with his mom sitting upstairs at the kitchen table. I'm like, what the what? So, anyway, I came to when he was trying to bend me over. And he did basically have his man piece right at my rim, but I fought him and it never penetrated. And so I fought him off of me like, what is wrong with you? Like, but I was young. I really didn't know what to do. So I just ran up the stairs and left. I didn't even say anything to his mom. I should have, hindsight be 2020. I should have been like, man, your son is down here trying to rape me with his sadistic butt. But I didn't say anything. I just left out of the house. I went home. I went in my bedroom. I sat on my bed like, man, what just happened? Okay. So then let's fast forward. A month later, my mom already thought I was having sex, like I told you, but I wasn't. I was a virgin. And she steady pushing, and she like, well, you haven't came on your period this month. And I'm like, okay. Like I wasn't sweating it because I haven't ever had sex with anyone. And so then she came again, maybe like 2 weeks later. Like, you haven't came on your period yet. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so next thing you know, she come taking me to the doctor. And she's like, when they gave the results, she's like, you're pregnant. And I'm looking like, how? I've never had sex before. And so my mom approached me. And the way that she was speaking to me, She was like, oh, like, please, can you talk to me? What's going on? Can you tell me what happened? And I'm like, my heart opened up because I was like, wow, she cares. She's asking me what happened. Because, I mean, you can't ask me how you get pregnant because ain't nobody dumb. You get pregnant by having sex. So to say what happened, I'm feeling like, oh, my mom is feeling me, you know. And so I said, well, I went around the corner and she cut me off. And she said, what, you went around the corner and got fucked? And I'm like, oh my God. First off, my mom had never cursed at me in my life. So to hear her curse at me and say that, it was like detrimental. And then it made me feel so low that she said that to me, you know, that I was like, yeah, that's what happened. I never, ever, ever told her until I became an adult that dude tried to rape me. So my daddy didn't believe in abortions, okay? So if you get pregnant, you got to have that baby. And my mom was like, no, you're not having no babies. And so where we went to go get the abortion at, they said that they wanted $100 more so that, you know, to give me anesthesia so I couldn't feel it. My mom was like, no, just go ahead and give her the abortion. So now I done got half raped and pregnant off of pre-cum because he did not penetrate my body at all. And now I have to get an abortion, and I had to sit there with no painkillers, no nothing, and get a baby sucked out of me, almost like my mom was trying to punish me, like I did something wrong. And so, fuck it, you can go through the pain, because you shouldn't be out there being a little hot mama anyway. But I wasn't, you know, I truly wasn't. And that's the thing. It's kind of like I got put in a position to always be on the defense. And in my adult life, don't nobody want to be on the defense constantly. You know, you don't want to be defending who you are or yourself. You would like for people to trust your word. You would like for people to honor the things that you say. But I've had this syndrome like it's a book called Nobody Listens to Andrew. You know, and Andrew kept telling everybody it's a bear in my bed, but nobody would listen. And that's kind of how my life has been. Nobody has listened, and then they'll gain some type of perspective or thought process about who they think I am, and then they'll try to impose that on me to where it puts me in a position to have to be being defensive. And I've learned and learning still at this point, because you never stop learning, how to own loving me and not being on. If someone tries to put me in that position, or I see that red flag, you know, I'm able to recognize it now and kind of not, you know, not associate with those type of people. And so basically I really most of the time am alone, because most people are judgmental, and most people do want to put you on the defense, especially a man, an insecure man. But anyway, so I had to get an abortion with no anesthesia or anything, and it hurt. It hurt. It was like an experience that I cannot put in words. And just having to watch my baby get sucked into a jar, I mean, I can't describe it. It was so surreal. It was so, to the point, the pain, it hurt so bad that it knocked me out, that I fainted, basically. And so afterwards, they give you like a hour or so to go rest in like this bed in this back room. And I couldn't get up. It was like I was in so much pain. And then they give you a pill to close your uterus. Because at first they give you like a seaweed or some type of something to open it that you insert the day before going to get the abortion. That anyway, that's how it was done when I went. But then I go home. When I go home, my dad is there, and I'm just like moaning and in pain, like in excruciating pain from getting this abortion with no anesthesia or anything. And my mom tells my dad, oh, she's just on her period. She's cramping. But like, I haven't ever been in pain like that. It hurt to the point where I just like, I just moaned. I just moaned. I couldn't do anything else. That's all. I mean, because, man, it was hurting. So my dad comes in there. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't feel good. And he said, just, you don't have no type of medicine to take or nothing. And so then here comes my mom, and they're like, you better not say nothing. Don't say nothing to your dad. And I'm like, okay. I can't even hardly respond to her. And then I'm telling her, like, okay, they gave me 3 different medications. One, they said take with milk. One, they said take with food. One, it says you can take just with water. And so I was asking her, what should I do? Should I drink this one with some milk? Should I eat something first? She said, you know what? Shut up and don't ask me nothing. Just take the medicine and shut up. She was just so disgusted with the fact that I had gotten pregnant and she had to pay for an abortion, on the sneak, pay for me an abortion. It's like she just was showing me disgust. And then from that moment, all she showed me was disgust. Like, she just was straight disgusted with me. And what she did is that summer, my oldest brother was in the Navy, and he was in Whidbey Island. And so she sent me to go stay with my brother for the summer. But it wasn't like I had a problem with it. I love my brother. But my mom was telling my brother that, your sister is a hoe now. And she's sleeping around, and she's sleeping with a lot of dudes. And I was still a virgin. So that summer, I go to Washington State and stay with my brother. He had a son already that was 2, but he was a little guy. So I put a diaper on him and put him in the cover and sat him on my lap like he was a little baby, but he was actually 2. And my other brother rode on the plane with me, and he went with me also. And that summer we spent in Whidbey Island, Washington, in the Seattle area. And so when I got there, I didn't know anyone. And after being there for about a week or 2, just walking around like kids do, I met a girl named Princess. And she was the exact same age I was. But that was the first time I ever met anyone that would steal out of stores. And she was having sex. And that was the first, I would say, associate or friend that I knew for a fact that had intimacy with a male. And so she started, stopping by, and I would stop by her house. And also me and my brother, I had used my brother's wife's ID, and we went to the club. That's the first time I ever went to the club. And me and my brother Kenny that went with me there, we did a dance routine, and we won at the club, at the Grown People's Club. And so that was a trip. That I only did that once. And then I would go and kick it with Princess. Me and Princess went to the Gold Blast there, and when we leave out, she like, look, and I'm like, what? And she's showing me earrings and different stuff she stole, and I'm like, hold on, look. If you stealing something, let me know. Don't be stealing nothing. And then I had to stop and ask her, like, how did you steal that with me, right? How did I not know? And I'm standing right there with you that you stealing, girl. She like, girl, I done got good. She said, let's go to Shoe Source. And she was like, you see these busted up shoes I got? Let's go there. I'm about to get me some shoes. I told her, I wait outside for you when you do that. Because I don't want to get in trouble, for stealing, and I ain't stealing nothing. So it kind of made me like learn her character, learn who she was. I'm not even going to say that she was a bad person because she did that. But I didn't do things like that. So it was like kind of like, new for me to know a young lady that was a little thief. But anyway, so one day in particular, I stopped by her house and she's like, hey, she said, I know this dude that, I be talking to in the military. She said, and I talked to him and he, I told him that I was going to come over there for lunch. And I'm like, okay. She was like, you want to go with me? I said, I don't mind. So I go with her and the dude, he's only like 18. And, so you have to consider we're like 14, 15, right around that age. So, we go over dude's house, and as soon as you go in, it's the kitchen, and it was like a little bar separating the kitchen and the living room, like a nook, breakfast nook type thing. And I just took a seat right there. And she, talked to him. He made us some sandwiches, and then we just talked. They didn't go in the room and have sex or anything, and nothing sexual happened at all. But, we sat around and talked. And then he asked me, he says, what's your name? He asked me what my last name was. And I told him. And he's like, he said, my sergeant. That's my sergeant's name. He was like, I hate that bitch. And come to find out, he's talking about my brother's wife. And she was a mean person. I have to give her that. She was very mean. And so I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay. So later on, we leave there. I go to Princess' house. Later on, I get to the house. Me and Princess were together still. And his wife is there. My sister-in-law is there. And she's like, yeah, you know what? She said, I don't think that you need to be hanging with that girl. And, you told her you need to leave. And I'm like, well, I already don't know anybody. And why would you be trying to stop me from, talking to the only person that I know here? So it's like she wasn't my mom or a parental figure. So I'm just like, you know what, whatever. And so I hear her on the phone with my brother, and she's like, yeah, she a hoe. And woo-woo and this and that. And I'm like, who are you talking about? And she was like, you know what, whatever, get out my face. I'm like, okay. So I left out anyway with my friend, because you can't tell me who to be friends with. And I already don't know anybody. And I'm low-key rebellious. And I done had to get an abortion from getting raped. I done had my uncle trying to rape me my whole life. I done had my brother do stuff to me. I done got beat on and ignored. So I am like, bitch, you're not about to tell me what to do. I'm not. When I'm finally having a little bit of peace and enjoyment, I'm not going to let you take that away. So I left with my friend anyway. Baby, when I came back, my brother was there. And my brother was like, you went and had sex with somebody today? And I'm like, no. Like, I haven't had sex with anybody. He was like, yeah, whatever. Mama told me you was a hoe. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, it was hurting me. And he's like, yeah, Mama told me you was. And I'm like, I haven't had sex with anybody. Now, I forgot to add to the story the entire time of being there. So my mom sent $300 for groceries, when we were there to compensate so my brother wouldn't have to feed us. But when my brother went to the grocery store and got the groceries, he told me so the entire time that I was there and visited, all I could eat was peanut butter and tuna helper. But I had to cook their dinners every single night. I had to get up and clean their home and give their daughters breathing treatments because my niece, which was a baby, had asthma. Of course, my nephew that came there with me was young, so I had to take care of him. But I was not allowed to eat any of the food that was bought because my mama beforehand, had put my brother in the mind that I was just out of control and doing a bunch of bad stuff. And so I guess that was my brother's way of punishing me. In hindsight, being 2020, it didn't do nothing but give me super thick and healthy because peanut butter is such a protein. It got me super thick and healthy and strong. And it taught me about how to properly clean. You know what I mean? It taught me things that I just didn't know, even though that was low-key abuse. I was there, Cinderella. So anyway, I get there and my brother's like, you disrespecting my wife and you having sex. And I'm telling my brother, like, first off, I didn't have sex with nobody. And then second, no, I did not disrespect your wife. She told me she didn't think I should go with her. She didn't tell me I couldn't go with her. So she just gave me her opinion because she knows she can't tell me what to do. So while I'm talking to my brother, this chick in the background steady hyping him up. Like, yeah, she a hoe though. She a hoe though. And I told her, look, don't call me a hoe not one more time. If you call me a hoe again, I'm going to show you a hoe. So my brother is like, oh, you threatening my wife? I said, nah, but look at what, how she talking to me and what she's saying. And she's lying. It's not the truth. So, long story short, she said something else, and I went to walk towards her. My brother beats me really bad. He blacks both my eyes. My ribs were just bruised. They weren't broken, though. And he threw me out. Now, I am 15 years old in Washington, 2 black eyes, beat up, ribs bruised, and in all honesty, I hadn't done a thing but met a young lady, went to a store while she stole, went to some little dude's house and sat there for a little bit while they talked, and that's it. So, my brother wouldn't let me back in. He wouldn't let me use his phone to call my mom. And so the people across the street let me use their phone. And I called my mom, and she sent me a plane ticket, and I went back home. And it's like, talking about being traumatized, I was truly traumatized at that point because I just didn't know how to feel or how to operate in my skin or even have the confidence to, have that defense for myself or, I guess what I would be saying is there are steps into becoming an adult, in adulthood, and we need to really start considering assumptions. Assumptions will make a fool. As a parent as well. Take the time. Talk to your children. Talk to your daughters. Your sons also. Because people do things to boys as well. And women do things to boys as well. And, I guess just educate ourselves more on how to be able to communicate with children when they are going through things. Because had my mom at any point in all of these different things ever just communicated with me and was a true caring mom, I believe that I would have been able to, escape through these things better in life. And so to sum this story up, I was pregnant, got an abortion, got beat down, and was still a virgin. I would like all of you guys, all of the viewers, please like and subscribe and take the time and listen to my stories. I got a lot more for you, and I'll see you gems later. Peace.